longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, this is mental. Okay, right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
How does one even get into the meeting room?
You're not using the dynamics at all.
Yeah, but it's the only way I can... Oh, okay, right.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the
what did he
meeting
say about open
room.
doors?
Stanley
Come on, back up!
well.
It's closed!
Stop by
That's
the
a
employee
joke.
lounge first, just to admire it.
What was I wondering? Oh, yeah, what am I looking for? Oh, what's going on here?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Alright. Yeah, nice room. Some art. Shite.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utter. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, see that?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
Oh,
incredible
screw
he
you,
wasn't
mate.
fired years ago.
What is going on? I don't like the way these doors are closing behind me all the time.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
What is this about? What the fuck?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another.
Here's the phone. Ring, 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 banana phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Very brown bread.
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
Your damn.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point
guy's
here,
an
Stanley.
asshole.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
How come I can't see my own ass? Do I not have an ass? Wait, I'm trying to watch this door, but it's just not happening for me. Oh, you have to press or B.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I'm not pressing X. I'm having enough of this chap.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever
Come
happen.
on, move the shagging chair and let me go on a roam. Press RT to watch TV. Are you serious? Let me shoot something or...
and so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
To spend time with the boys.
So
What is
he
going
went
on
further.
here?
He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either.
I'm just full on trapped in this room.
It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Are you just
Down
fucking
one
me
path
here?
lay an enormous round room with
I'm just
monitors
looking around,
and
there's nothing
multiple
going on.
controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press LV to tell you here.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
I don't want to go.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch
You are
this.
dark, man.
Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
No, fuck you.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
It says, I'm not doing that. Can I just wait this out? I really don't want to press this fucking button.
I suppose I can't. Not even if I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well,
I really hope I
maybe
meet
this
you in the
time
game
you'll
at some
see.
point, mate, so I can load you
Maybe
in the
this
head.
time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
What the hell happened there? Am I dead?
Yeah.
What? Are you serious?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh,
Stanley
at the
decided
start,
to go to the
so
meeting.
I actually have to listen
Perhaps
to this
he
guy.
had simply missed a memo.
Fuck you, man. I'm pegging.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I got a ball up inside you. Where is my boss's office?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh yeah. This looks like something out of bleeding China. Ah, that is him, really. This reminds me of that maze game he made onto. That scared the crap out of me.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Where's the fucking pin?
You're going to type it into the desk, are you?
Yeah, well, I'm looking for a keypad.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yeah, stop rubbing it in, mate. Just tell me where the fucking keypad is. Behind the bloke's desk, yeah?
2845.
Oh, I'm gonna melt you in a second, mate. Where's the shocking keypad? Give me a hand here. Oh, there we go.
Okay, just stop recording.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.